Now we'll hear from our head volleyball coach, Jennifer Walker.
Hi, guys. Well, we reported to campus a week ago today, and we've been having 2 3-day practices for the last week, and really actually feeling very good about our athletes. We have some tweaks here and there as far as injuries, but for the most part, we're doing great. We're not trying to wear them out right now. We're just trying to keep them fresh and work on the areas that we need to work on specifically as a team and then also as individuals. So it's been a very good first week for us, and we're looking forward to what this next week gives us before we head up to Bethel, which is where we open our season, against some very good competition, and that will be a good challenge for us as we head into the 2016 season. As far as athletes that we have returning, Claire Willenbring is our big banger on the outside. She's a senior this year, looking very good, very healthy. She's had back issues and shoulder issues in the past, and she's doing great right now. Setter, Maria Brown, both Claire and Maria are from Beckman Catholic, and Maria's only a junior, and we'll probably be running a 6-2 with Maria in there, and the other setter will probably be Mallory Urbis from Urbandale. She's only a sophomore, and we're actually kind of turning her into a right side setter, so she's going to be playing all the way around and hitting across the front, which will be a whole new look for us, but she's doing an outstanding job in that right now, so we'll hopefully see that in a week or so. Some newbies that we have coming in that are around this area that you might be interested in. Courtney Dinsdale out of Wapsie Valley is looking really sharp as a setter for us. She'll probably be the third setter on the varsity. Here's my notes. Megan Wagaman out of Springville, outside hitter. That she's looking very strong, learning a lot. I love what she's given to us. And then Abby Stabell out of Hudson, a right side hitter, lefty, is also looking very good. So we've got a lot of good options, and those are our first years. We've also got our returners we actually have some good depth. We graduated out 7 seniors, and I know people probably thought, yay, that was a really good group to get rid of. But the people that we have behind them, we're ready to go, and then now this first year class is coming in. So we're feeling very good about the depth that we have in each of our positions at this time. So again, like I said, we have our opening games in a week. We have our intra-squad scrimmage tomorrow, which will be fun to see how we come out in uniforms and game mode and on the big net and see how we all play like that. But it's been a very good start to this season. We're excited about what it brings to us. So what kind of questions do you guys have?
As you recruited, I looked and see you got a lot of incoming freshmen from your backyard. You recruited that very well. Do you look more at how they play together, maybe on teams? I see every once in a while you have a few from the same high school team, or how they play together club-wise?
We go to both. And so club offers a different challenge in that they're not always with their teammates. But if we have some from the same school, sometimes that's just a nod to the quality of those programs. We went out recruiting last night to Sioux Center and came back. It's a long trip. But there were 2 athletes there that we were looking at. We'd love to get them both. One's a setter, one's an outside. I mean, you go where you can, and if you're finding athletes that happen to be on the same team, then we want to talk to both of them. And most of the time they're like, yeah, I'd love to play with her for another 4 more years. That's a good thing. So it's fun for us to go out and watch the club as well. Again, like I said, it gives a different mentality because it's not just the people you've grown up with. It's all these other athletes that are committed to doing something in the off season, which means there's usually a bit more intent with it. But yeah, we're not afraid to go out. We've got some from Minnesota and Illinois, and we've been hitting those areas as well a little bit more than we have in the past. So recruiting is big. It's really big.
Talk a little bit about your non-conference schedule in NCAA opponents in Bethel and Northwestern in particular.
Yeah, Bethel is ranked 12th to start out the season. And so we will. That will be our 4th game of the season. They're the ending game for their tournament. And we played them last year and did all right against them. And I would expect us to go up and be a little bit more familiar with them and who they have coming out this year. But they will be on their home court. And so we'll get the chance to see them there. But they come back down and see us in October and play us on our home court. So we're making it all even. We'll see how we come out of there 2-0, 1-1. But it's good to play those opponents, and to play them out of the gates gives us a really good idea of where we're at to start the season. And then Northwestern, we've got them right at the very end, right before we go into the national tournament. And they're the ones that ended us off last year at the NCAA. And so we know what they have. And obviously, we'll watch them as they go through the season, but to get to play them right before the opportunity maybe to go into the national tournament's a really good springboard for us at that level or at that time of the season to see where we're at. So keep us going.
Coach Artis said he doesn't put a lot of stock in the coaches poll for the conference standings. What was your reaction to that, and what did you tell your players as far as motivation?
You know, we don't talk about the polls for the same reason. I know SIDs love polls. I've been told that by every SID, like stats and polls and all that. Yeah, we missed first place by 1 vote. So it is what it is. Honestly, last year we were picked third, and we won. And so I think sometimes when you're picked lower, it's more motivation. I asked our athletes, like, hey, did you see the poll? And they said, yeah. I said, what's that make you feel like? And then we're going to go get first. Okay, it's fine by me. I'm okay. Well, I'm on that board. I'm on that train, so I'm okay with that. But really, I had said it even in my quote for that. It's been a tight conference for years. I mean, there's been no one team that has stepped up and you're like, they're going to win it this year. They're going to win it this year for the last 4 or 5 years. And so it's just a tight race. I mean, Central went out last year and beat BV right out of the gates and then lost the rest of their games. I mean, you just don't know what's going to happen. And BV was picked to win last year. So you don't know. And so what kind of makes it fun. Adding Nebraska Wesleyan, they've been a good competitive team at the Division III level. Their record wasn't so great, but they play NAIA schools all throughout their season. That was their conference. So I'm anxious to get over there and play them and see how they've been here before for our tournaments, and we've competed very well back and forth with them. So I think this going to be a good addition to our conference, and they're going to be right on playing with everybody else. They're just going to add to the mix now. So.
What has led to the parity in the conference? Because you're right, it seems like, I don't know how many years ago it was, but Central kind of dominated for quite a while. Then all of a sudden this parity happened. Is this, everybody wants to know, is one team's level down, or has everybody raised their game, in your opinion? I
think the recruiting has become bigger, and more schools have committed to getting out there and doing the recruiting. Central had a Division I player come play for them, and that makes a huge difference. And then you've got other teams that are like, well, that's cool. I mean, like other players, recruits that want to go be a part of that. So they held that for a pretty long time. I'm not just saying it was her because they held it for a while, but I just think that there's more commitment from coaches and more support from our administration to give us that time to go out and recruit. When I first came here, recruiting was a very small part of my job. And now volleyball in general is the majority of my job. So I have teaching also. So I think that there's just been a change, and admissions knows that that's important, that we're able to go out and do that recruiting. So when you look at it across the board, perhaps that's what's happening. But I also think, more and more players are playing in clubs, so they're getting more experience. So the players come in maybe at a higher level, and if we're all getting those same kind of players from club, that makes a difference as well.
How is having Doug as a co-head coach helped with recruiting? I imagine it's nice to be able to send out the head coach twice as often.
Absolutely. We were both in different places last night, and, head coaches were in 2 locations. He's actually, when he came in, I said, take over the recruiting. He had experience in admissions work, and I said, take this over. So he's been a huge part of why we're getting players from farther distances and more of our all-state players. We're getting that communication earlier in their junior year. So that's been helping us out to establish those relationships early. So he's been great at that.
You guys graduated 3 of your top hitters from last year. What have you kind of seen from returning players such as Lizzie Blau, Maddie Miller, and Aaron Jones, their development on the outside?
Wow. Well, first of all, Lizzie is healthy. That's a big deal. Lizzie's swinging really well. I'm really pleased with her. Last year she did a lot of roll shots. I think her timing was off with our setters. Now we're seeing her in the gym get much better swings. She's getting used to our setters. And again, she's healthy. Maddie, again, healthier. She's a beast when she swings it hard, and that's fun. And so for Maddie, the hitting isn't so much the issue. We just want her to get off blocker. Once she gets that defense down, she's a solid force over there on the outside for us. And Erin, having her experience, I'm not kidding. She's a brand new kid, so much more mature, coming off of that Final Four experience with basketball. I've always said 2-sport athletes are great because they've competed twice as many times before they come back and play with us again. So she's competed in 4 seasons now in just 2 years. She comes back to, she's had experience at that national level. She's amazing. She wants every single ball, and she swings it, and she knows she's going to get the kill, and she is. And our other middles are struggling against her. She's got this much more reach on them, so they're going up here, and she's here. It's hard to block. And so we're hoping that will also be the case when we play our opponents. But right now, we're working to give her challenges defensively on her offense to hope that she's ready for when we got other opponents too. But she's looking fantastic. Yeah, thank you.